Hello, and welcome to the Prepare to Prosper YouTube channel. Um, every This is the first Friday of the month, so every first Friday I try to do an interview. Last month I interviewed myself. This month I'm interviewing my lovely wife Sarah. Um, she may seem really far away, but she's just over there. Uh, this is also a partial for testing to see if we can get everything down. So, can you hear an echo hum when you talk?
No.
Okay. I'm getting an echo when I
Well,
talk. I just
yes.
muted myself. Settings, audio. All right. I'm not getting the echo anymore. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you
Oh,
hear
I
me?
am still getting an echo. Yeah, I
I
can
get a
hear you.
tiny echo.
I'm still getting a tiny echo. That may be because we're so close together.
I turned I turned my volume
All right.
down as well.
Well, let's just go with it. We're still learning, still experimenting here. So, anyway, Sarah, she's my wife. Uh, so yeah, we wrote together three questions, and we're gonna go through those three questions here. So the first one is, why is preparedness important to you? I should look at the camera, not right over at her,
I'm having a hard time with that as well. Um,
because we're this is supposed to be a practice for when I do interviews with strangers. Anyway, so why do you think preparedness is important?
so preparedness is important not just because you're preparing for a big emergency, but because a couple weeks ago we had to drop everything in. My mom was being admitted to the emergency room. It's little emergencies, little everyday things like your phone battery's dying, so be prepared for that. Your car gets a flat tire, be prepared for that. You even slightly bigger things like you're lost your job, so be prepared to be able to feed your family during that time where you're looking for a new job. Um, or you don't know what to cook for dinner. Well, you can be prepared for that too. So it's
So,
not just being prepared for big things, but little things.
yep, that's what I was gonna say. So don't try to focus on being prepared for the polar poles to shift or North Korea to land paratroopers in your backyard, but be prepared for everyday emergencies that happen to people all the time. The kind of stuff that happens to us, but like our neighbor doesn't even know what's going on.
And you'll find, as we've found, that being prepared for those small emergencies does prepare you for the larger emergencies too.
Yep. And we've both dealt with some larger emergencies. We're both widows from our first spouses and had to go through that and deal with all that. And I know you weren't as much into for being prepared as I was at the time, but it was great when April, my late wife, when she was in the hospital, that I could grab a few milk crates full of canned food and be able to heat those up in the hospital and be able to eat and stay with her and spend more time with her and be able to eat cheaply instead of having to worry about going to work and worry about having to buy the expensive hospital food or whatever.
Um, we weren't into preparedness the food storage way, but we did have ourselves financially prepared for if one of us passed away. And that helped greatly when April, my late husband, David, my late husband, passed away. Um, we were our two children and I were in a situation where we were financially prepared and financially able and stable to stay where we were and kind of transition into this new chapter of our lives in a stable fashion because of our preparedness in that fashion.
All right. So I think we hit that topic pretty good. Um, so what do you want to? So we're turning. Let me back up a little bit. So after getting married, me and Sarah moved in together. I moved in to her place. I was living in an RV. You can go watch my earlier videos to see that. But I have 500 watts of solar, and I'd have to run a garden hose over from the barn where I was staying to fill it full of water, and no Wi-Fi. So I moved in with Sarah because I didn't think two teenage boys would want to live in a little RV like that. Have to convert the dining room table over to their bed every night to give them a place to sleep, and they'd have to sleep in the
Yeah,
same bed.
we didn't think the kids were up to moving to a 25-foot off-grid RV.
Yeah. So I moved in after getting married. I moved in with Sarah and the boys, and we're starting to build a homestead together. So, what do you want to get out of homesteading?
Um, Being able to work for ourselves, to better our lives, to help the community and better the lives of the people around us, to use homesteading and these videos to kind of introduce people to being prepared and homesteading, and just, retiring from working for other people, but still being able to be financially stable and having our own say in how our income is earned.
That's awesome. We're on the same page with that. And if you're watching this, I apologize. The neighbors' dogs down there are small, yippy, and obnoxious. And yes, this is basically a suburban lot. We live just outside the city, and that's where our homestead is. So we do have neighbors that are really close. It'd be awesome if we lived in a homestead out in the middle of nowhere, but if we did that, we wouldn't have customers close by. So pros and cons to both.
3 blocks to the west of us is considered the city, so we are technically county and still has all the quote unquote benefits of being in the city.
Yep. Jack Spirko at the Survival Podcast, he calls it the urban rural fringe. All right. So, what kind of things do you want to sell on the homestead?
So, eggs, quail eggs. I know we're planning on having chickens and rabbits. I
Yep.
don't know how much of that's going to be saleable. We're still figuring that out.
Yep. We'll
And
probably with the chickens, we'll probably sell baby chickens to people who want them. And for the rabbits, we'll sell pet rabbits, and we can sell live rabbits that people want to take home to butcher. Unfortunately, with the laws, we can't sell butchered rabbits without a USDA inspector, and I couldn't find any USDA inspectors in the area that wanted to deal with rabbits.
yeah. And then I
Hi,
probably
Thomas.
said it already, but
Our youngest just walked out of the house to watch us.
But quail eggs, and quail if somebody wants one, probably.
Yep.
Microgreens. We are going to have a greenhouse to sell seedlings for people to plant in their own gardens. We are going to find local farmers to resale their meat.
Yep.
We're going to maybe have some crafty things that I can make and sell in there.
Yep.
We can probably sell some jams and jellies.
Yep.
A certain amount with needing a kitchen license.
Yep. Also, rabbit manure,
Oh,
compost,
yep.
vermicompost from the worm bin. Um,
Um,
I'm probably also going to do knife sharpening and some other stuff like that.
and long term, we want to have a commercial kitchen that we could teach food preservation in and to use to generate food to sell. We would
Yep.
like to get a freeze dryer and sell freeze dried food, not just freeze dried candy, which seems to be the most popular thing to buy.
Most of the freeze dried food that's out on the market has a lot of pasta in it. So we want to, since we eat low carb, it'd be nice if we could freeze dry our own low carb meals, but also start to sell them to people who want freeze dried low carb meals. I don't know how big that market is, but it's worth looking into. And we'll probably pay for the freeze dryer by selling freeze dried candy. Hopefully, it's still popular by the time we get a freeze dryer.
Our youngest is really fond of freeze dried Skittles.
Yeah, one of my friends, he's the like manager of the Boy Scout store up at the Boy Scout camp, and so we can sell freeze dried candy through that way once we get a freeze dryer and then figure out the laws for doing that.
So we have a wide variety. As the saying goes, we're not going to put all our eggs in one basket.
Yep,
Um, and we're
and we
definitely going to look at what is profitable versus how much work we put into it to add things or weed things out as we go along. So
yep,
it's a work in progress and a learning curve.
yeah, that was what I was gonna say. We'll use the Pareto principle sort of to weed out the things that require a lot of work for little profit. We're not going to get rid of all those things because some of them will bring in customers.
Yes, and definitely we could go seasonally for like the crafting stuff. If we felt like doing that, we could even put together kits for people to make their own crafting stuff. Um, so
Yep.
just depends on how much work versus how much reward.
And one question I didn't get a chance to ask you beforehand, so I'm going to throw it at you now, but we're working on putting together a preparedness group in the area. So, what exactly is a preparedness group?
So a preparedness group, as my understanding of it is that it is a group of like-minded people who want to help each other um, and work towards a goal together and are willing to, like, for even the little emergencies. Hey, I've got a flat tire. Can you pick my kids up from school because I know you're out that way already? Or and then to go pick your kids up from school. Or, hey, if one of them says, hey, I just got a whole bunch of tomatoes or green beans and I cannot can them all by myself, it will go over and help them can them. It would be, if you're storing food long term, go and go in on a purchase together so that it's cheaper for everybody and split the food up amongst yourselves. So you buy a pallet of beans or rice or sugar or whatever you're storing at that time. If you find a good price on it that way, it means that you meet regularly and you discuss your goals and you work towards those goals together as a group to help each other out. So you're creating a community, and hopefully that community will grow to include your friends and family as well, so that they're part of that community if something bad does happen. And I'm not saying like meteors hit the earth or the polar vortex or, you know, plague hits the world or anything. I'm just saying that so that your group, your support network is stable and is big enough to actually support all the members of your group.
Yeah. And also, one thing, that was a great answer. One thing I want to add is we'll get together to work on group projects together. So, like, I have most of the greenhouse that I brought with me from my parents' house. If we, sorry, I keep yawning. I don't know. I sat down. Did I? Anyway, I got most of the greenhouse over there. It'd be great if we could get a group of people together and put the greenhouse up, or I get a group of people together to finish the fence. And you don't even have to be even emergencies that a preparedness group gets stuff or yeah gets stuff done together with. It could just be an ordinary day. Uh, Bear Independent on his YouTube channel, he says all the time, you're not preparing, or you don't want a group that only does things in on Doomsday. You want a group that can get together and do things on a Tuesday. These are people
Yes.
you do life together with.
Yep. Like
Kind
I
of
said,
like
you're
a lot.
building a community.
Yeah, a lot like the church in the Book of Acts.
Yeah.
And what kind of people are we looking for? Are we looking for like self-sufficient Navy SEAL farmers?
When you find one, let me know.
If there was a
They're
Navy
probably already the
SEAL,
member of a group.
yeah, they don't need us. We don't bring
Uh,
anything to the table for people like that.
no, we're looking for, your neighbor, your the pastor at your church, just the person you sit next to in the pew at church, the mom next to you in the pickup line at school, the
Yeah.
dad you work with at work,
Yep. So the people you get along with, and like I said, you can spend Tuesday together. You can hang out and play board games or whatever together. Your families get
yeah,
along, and you can rely on each other.
you're not looking for people who have addictions, even if they're the social kind, because that's not conducive to an emergency situation if that
Yeah.
supply of what they're addicted to is gone. You're looking for people who either are in stable relationships or are looking for stable relationships, um, and who are teaching the same values to their children, or are professing the same values that you have.
Yep. And they don't have to be switched on and super awesome, have a year's worth of food or whatever. They just need to be growing and working towards that and diligently trying to achieve goals and preparedness and doing it in an organized way. Uh, I'm guilty of not being the most organized. Like I bought 1,000 rounds of 300 blackout before I bought a nice water filter. I should have done that the other way around. But if I had a better preparedness group, they would. When I said, "Hey, I'm thinking about buying 1,000 rounds of ammunition," they would have been like, "Hey, man, how's your water? How's your food?" Because you can't eat bullet. Well, I guess you could eat them once, but
Oh, jeez.
they're very crunchy. So that's about all I got. All the questions I have for you. Do you have anything you want to add?
uh no, I don't think so. I think that just about covers what we are expecting from our work here at our very small homestead. We don't have a lot of room, but we're hoping to make the best of it.
Hmm. Well, thanks, honey, for letting me interview you for the live stream and work out some of the bugs with StreamYard. I don't have a guest lined up for next month, so if you're watching this and you think you make a good guess, uh, put it in the comments. Hopefully, I'll find one between now and the first Friday of next month. I got a potential one lined up for the month after that, and then nobody after that. So we'll
I
see
do
how this
have one
goes.
thing.
Oh, go ahead.
I think we grew a watermelon.
Yeah, I think so too. Squirrels or something. I think squirrels got into the garden and they ate. most of our pumpkin, watermelon,
Yucca types,
cucumbers. Yeah, and
squashy things.
yep, one of them managed to survive, and it's kind of taken over the entire garden. And I saw it right before we started live streaming. We have like a watermelon hanging off the fence.
One survivor.
Yep. All right. Well, thanks for watching, and remember, we prepare today and prosper tomorrow.